Hey everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing some composite ratchets made by TEKTON. These come in 1/4 inch, 3/8 as well as 1/2 inch drive. And although they may look like plastic ratchets, they're actually a metal ratchet with a composite coating. Now they're also offset, so the handle actually sticks up further than the base of the head of the ratchet, and your hand's not going to be scraping any surfaces when you use these. And I've been using them for, 3 or 4 months. And in certain situations, they're my absolute favorite ratchet simply because they fit in my hand so well. They will not scratch any surface I'm working around. And when cold weather arrives here in a couple months, these are really going to be handy to use because unlike a metal ratchet, these aren't going to freeze my hands and won't turn the same temperature as the outside air. So what I'm going to do in this video is basically show you how well these work, some close-ups of them, and then I'm actually going to be taking one completely apart so you can see the internals of the composite ratchet itself. Here's a closer look at the 3 different sizes of the composite ratchets. The smallest, of course, is the 1/4 inch drive, followed by the 3/8, and then finally the 1/2 inch drive. So other than the size difference, the construction and look and feel of these are completely identical. Now, taking a closer look at one of the ratchets, you can see that there's a directional switch that is very standard with almost all ratchets at the base of the ratchet head itself that will allow you to loosen or tighten a fastener. There's a quick release button right here, and if it's pressed, you'll see the little ball that will hold the socket in place will fall back into the actual drive end itself, and that will allow you to remove the socket. So they will go on easily. If you press the button, it will slide in place, and then pulling on it, you cannot remove the socket without pressing that quick release button. But if you just turn it over and press the quick release button, the socket will fall off. So that's a very nice feature to have if you don't already have that on your ratchets. And this is going to be something that not only a DIYer or homeowner can use, but if you're a professional and you're working around, let's say, motorcycle parts, or you're working on a classic car and you might have to get near a painted surface, you don't want to have any risk of scratching anything. And with this plastic composite coating on here, you won't do that nearly as easily simply because the plastic is not going to scratch the finish that you're working on like a metal ratchet would. Now, recently I had to replace the tank on the back of my toilet, and the little closet flange bolts that are underneath that hold the tank to the base, I was able to tighten those up with a 3/8 inch drive, and the end of the ratchet handle itself was banging into the porcelain the entire time, but nothing was cracked or scratched because this rubber was hitting the actual toilet, not a metal ratchet like I would have had to use otherwise. Because I was able to use the TEKTON Composite ratchet with this rubberized coating on the handle, that tapping on the porcelain did not cause any damage at all. Now I'm going to go ahead and take one of the 3/8 inch drive ratchets, and I'm going to completely strip all of the composite material off of here so we can see exactly what's underneath. Here are 2 identical 3/8 inch drive TEKTON composite ratchets. You can see this one I've removed the internals on, but what I'm going to do now is cut away the actual composite plastic sheathing, and we're going to see how much metal is actually underneath. Okay, I've cut away all the plastic from around the head. I'm going to zoom in on this now, and we're going to see just how thick this is. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of the plastic off the remainder of the handle. Okay, now you can see just how much metal is inside the ratchet head itself. It was a very thin coating of that plastic composite material. And when we compare this to the other 3/8 inch ratchet, you got to remember these were identical at the start. You can see that basically the entire ratchet is metal and it has a very thin coating over top of it. So what I'm going to do now is remove the remainder of this plastic composite material from the ratchet handle itself. Okay, so now I'm going to put it back in the vise, and I'm actually going to use a shop towel just so I don't, crush in the head on this. But I'm going to go ahead and clamp this down, and then we're going to cut the remainder off of the handle. Okay, the razor blade is pretty much giving up on ripping this material off of here, but I did make it about halfway down the actual handle itself. I'm going to zoom in now, let you see what exactly I've cut away, And then I'm going to use a hacksaw to go ahead and cut the remainder of this off. So here's a closer shot of what I was able to cut away so far. It looks like the handle is going to be the same thickness all the way through. And this large end is actually going to be primarily that composite material. Now, it does have dual layers. So the black layer is going to be real hard plastic. And then this actual red layer is almost like a soft rubbery material, kind of like the bottom of your tennis shoe. But I'm going to take that hacksaw and I'm just going to slice down through here to cut the remainder of the composite material off. And I decided instead of using a standard hacksaw, I'm going to go ahead and use the Milwaukee M12 fuel hacksaw. And that actually cut through it, but I wasn't all the way down on the metal, so I'm going to clean this up with a razor blade now. Okay, so now we've removed the composite shell, and inside you can see is a metal ratchet. So the head is metal, as well as the entire handle is metal also. And now to give you a better view of the ratchet internals themselves, I've already removed the mounting screws, and now I'm just going to remove that dust cover, and you can see how it works inside. The ratcheting mechanism itself has 72 teeth around the perimeter, and that's going to engage one of these two pawls. Now we have a left and a right pawl, so depending on which direction we're turning, one or the other is going to be engaged. And on those paws are 4 teeth. So 4 of the teeth correspond with 72 teeth on the actual ratcheting mechanism, and that's what's going to engage and give you the force to turn the fastener. Now because it does have a 72 tooth design, you're going to be able to remove fasteners with a 5-degree swing arc, meaning that the ratchet only needs to rotate 5 degrees in order for the next tooth to engage. So watching this turn, you can see the right-handed one clicking and the left-handed one is suspended above the surface. But all we'll have to do is switch the directional switch on the back, and it's going to disengage the right and in turn engage the left. So now it will turn in the opposite direction. The right-handed one is not touching the actual mechanism itself, and it still has 4 teeth engaging at all times. So now you've seen the TEKTON Composite ratchets for yourself. And like I said, and you saw in the video, internally, even though they may look plastic on the outside, it is a metal ratchet with a composite coating. Now TEKTON does have a free lifetime replacement guarantee with these, so if there's ever a manufacturer defect with one, you can call them up or send them an email and they're going to replace it for you free of charge. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my channel, please click subscribe. And thanks for watching.